Hi guys, welcome to another Casual Heck. This Casual Heck, we are going to be talking about Katamari Damacy. Please have a seat. It's gonna be a wild one. Now, you guys, Katamari Damacy. If you're like me, you've never heard of this game until you've probably seen a couple of Let's Players play it, and then you were like, well, I better try this game out. So Katamari Damacy, it turns out, is a PlayStation 2 game. And it's a Japanese game. Obviously by its Japanese name. You know, if you ever heard the phrase Katamari Damacy, you would be like, I have no idea what you said. And I would have to assume it's a different language just because I had no idea of what that meant in English. Now, Katamari Damacy is super lovely. It's a really sweet game. You are a little prince, a very small prince who's like 1 centimeter tall, and your father, who is the king of cosmos, who's legitimately as big as the cosmos, which is really weird because the cosmos, I believe, is infinite. He goes on some kind of weird power rampage and destroys all the stars in the universe, which is where you come in. Instead of your father atoning for his sins, he makes you, the prince, do his bidding for him. In order to make stars brand new, you have to roll stuff up from Earth in order to make brand new planets or stars to replace them. This is very interesting. You start off your the first level on a kind of tutorial basis. Like, he's kind of teaching you how to move with the controller and whatnot, but he actually brings you inside of a home of modern day Japan. You start your adventure on top of kotatsu, which is, if you guys love Japanese culture as much as I do, you would know that it's kind of like a warm, heating blanket table. Yeah, it's exactly like that. And it's the little prince kind of doing a little wiggle waggle with his body, doing a little dance. And he's in front of this ball, which we refer to as a katamari. Now, katamari is usually just referred to as a ball rolled up with things and just gets bigger and bigger. Yeah, so usually if there's a bunch of people who have wrapped themselves around something and it's just rounded, it would be a katamari of people. I guess that's how you would use it. So like in this case, you would have to, using your katamari, to roll random things up of a relatively equal size. And you're like, oh, okay, this seems pretty fun. So it becomes like a snowball effect. You know, you roll up stuff equally your size. If you roll up something that's obviously bigger than you and run into it, you're gonna lose some stuff. It's gonna fly off your katamari. But if you get bigger and bigger and bigger, to eventually you start rolling up countries. I'm not kidding. You roll up gigantic masses of land because of your sheer unique size. Obviously, you won't do that at the very beginning of the game. That's something until way later game you will do, but it is so amazing to do that. Like, the ability to roll up like the actual Earth and then create like different places. You have to create like different unique stars to constellations to different planets depending on what game you're doing, and it's just super awesome. Like, it's really amazing. And there's Katamari Damacy. There's a second one, Wheel of Katamari, I believe. Katamari Forever for the PlayStation 3. There's one on the Xbox, apparently. There's a PlayStation Vita one as well, or is it PSP? Not too sure. But I mean, like, there's a bunch, and it's so awesome. And I'm like, I love this. Like, game's so much fun. And it's so crazy Japanese. And I say crazy Japanese because, like, you know, like that stereotype of like Japanese. Like you remember like the Simpsons episode of Mr. Sparkle? It's like that. It's exactly like that. That game is Mr. Sparkle. It's so weird. It's amazing. And like even the Simpsons, like in their Simpsons movie, the game, Simpsons game, the movie, like you know the one I'm talking about. They referenced Katamari Damacy and like its weird Japanese antics like within the game as well. And it's so crazy. Like Milhouse was the king of Cosmos, and it was like, what? That's so weird. And everything was all like bright and colorful. Like it was godly colored, like Anne Frank's stickers. I believe that's what her name is. For everyone who was alive in the 90s, they would remember that as well. But yeah, like it's so, man, like the game is so fun. Like it's just so amazing. And there's just so much beauty and charm to it. Like, because you start off like so small and you do a little dance and like, oh man, and you can collect like, because in the game, oh my gosh, oh man, in the game you're actually able to collect your cousins, because what's the royal family without a family? You're actually one of many cousins, and they all have different names, which is kind of weird because your name is just Prince. Like you're the prince. Like that's who you are. Like you have no other identity other than next in line to the throne, which is kind of weird because it's like, is your dad just king? Like, is he just the king of Cosmos even though he was born? Like, was he born king? Or did his name just change? Like, I don't know how that even happens. Like, I don't even know. Does that mean, like, his dad was grandpa? Like, I don't know how that even works. All that aside, like Katamari is like super sweet, and maybe one day I'll do an actual Hec podcast about that. But you know, that's for another episode. Talking about other episode. Next time, something different. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye bye.